welcome to episode 21 of That's So You. My name is Diane, also known as Mrs. You, and this is my podcast all about, well, mainly about knitting, but also about crochet sometimes and other crafty bits and bobs. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I know it's been a while since I recorded last. I think the last time I recorded was beginning of May. And if you are a new viewer, thank you for joining us today. So as I said, it's been a long time since, long time for me since I recorded last. Not that I haven't tried or wanted to, it's just there hasn't been an opportunity to do so, and especially in the past couple of weeks I really wanted to record something, but I wasn't able to. So here we are today. What do I need now? It is the 15th of June, and it's just about 3:15, so I have a bit of time before I need to pick up the triple arters. For those of you who don't know, I have triplet boys and they are currently in school at the moment, and little miss is at home with me. She is sleeping at the moment. They normally would be finishing soon, but they all go to after school clubs on Fridays. Mr. Man and Jimmy Jr. do How To, which is sort of like a crafty, sciencey sort of club, and Mr. does dodgeball, which was a surprise for me when he said he wanted to do dodgeball, but he seems to be enjoying it. So yeah, I have some time before I need to pick them up. So as little miss is sleeping, I kind of had a few things ready to go just so in case I had a chance to record, because if I don't record today, then the next chance for me to record won't be until either Monday or Tuesday, so I didn't want to leave it even longer. Okay, so I do have a few things to show you today. I do have some finished objects, what's on the needles, goodies, waiting in the wings, and if there's time, there will also be the word for the month as well. Right, have I said everything I need to say? No. If you want to find me on the social medias, I'm mainly on as either Mrs. You Makes or YummyTripletMummy, but I'll put details all around there. There's also a blog, which is mrsyoumakes.blogspot.com. Recently I made some changes to that, and I've also been trying to make more of an effort to have some content on there that's not just talking about what I've been working on and recipes. So I have started a series about my design process. Yesterday I uploaded the second part of that series. The first part was all about developing my ideas, and this part 2 is all about choosing the actual stitch pattern. So yeah, if you do have time, go and check that out. Hopefully it will be some use to someone, or maybe give some inspiration or ideas. So I'm trying to do more on that as well, and also do sign up to the blog as well, and if you do so, you will get a free pattern sent to you, and you will get newsletters, but newsletters will be around about once a month, that's all. What else can I say? Yes, like and subscribe to this podcast, to this channel, if you haven't already done so that you will stay up to date with all that's happening, and share as well, because it's very good to share things. Right, I think that is all the bits I have to share. So let's get started with what is done and dusted. My first finished object, I finished this some time ago. It would have been end of May. It is the Hermes sweater. I I think it's Claire Ellen is the designer's name, but I'll put that on the screen anyway. So yeah, this is the sweater I made for Mr. Man. He is the oldest of the 3 boys. I use the Hermes pattern as more of a base for the sweater because that size only went to 6+, and the triple arters are 7, though Mr. Man's sizing tends to be within the 8 to 9 region. So I kind of used it just to get the general shaping, especially for this section, and then just calculated my own gauge and everything, just to work out where I would begin, for example, the raglan shaping and work the opening. I think I mentioned this in the last episode. I didn't work as many rows for the raglan shaping as I thought I would have to. I hope you can hear me, there's a bit of noise coming from outside. So yeah, I didn't work as many rows as I thought I would have to for the raglan shaping, and because of that I also started the placket opening later than I would have expected. Initially I would have wanted this opening to be further down, but when he's wearing it, it's not so bad. It looks good on him. And I've made the collar, I can't remember, I think I made the collar longer than instructed in the pattern as well. I haven't done so yet, but I will put down information when I get the chance. I'll put information on what I've done in the project page for this. Yeah, so the yarn I've used for this, the main color is 3rd Volt yarn Librarian Sock in the Blast Ended Script colorway, and the contrasting color, which is the bottom one, is Lamington Lass Soft Sock in the Ichabod colorway. This yarn has been with me for ages. I initially used it for a cowl design and I had some left over, so this is the second project I've kind of used it in, and on top of this I've also used it in the blanket projects I'm doing, the crochet and knitted one, and I've still got a tiny bit left which could probably be used for maybe a heel or what's it called, contrasting cuff or toes. So yeah, it's a nice yarn. It's gone a very long way. Yeah, Mr. Man is extremely happy with this. The only thing is now the weather's a bit too warm to wear it, so, and I haven't even blocked it yet, so I will need to get down to that. I did intend to do that today because there's my next finished object that I'm going to show you. I did block today, but our iron has gone on the fritz. I was trying to steam block it, and the iron just kept switching off. It wouldn't stay on. So now I was able to block the next item I'm going to show you, but not as well as I would have liked to. There's one edge that's still curling a little bit, so I'm going to have to block that again. If I'm able to buy a new iron tomorrow, then I will steam block it maybe Sunday when we come back from church at some point, or it'll have to be Monday when the boys are in school and I can use the toy box which I'm sitting on to do that on, and then I'll block this at the same time. So I was going to do this today, but yeah, it hasn't been done. In terms of the way the yarn colours have shown up on the yarn, I did like the way this was happening here. I only had one skein of this initially, so there wasn't anything to alternate. I wasn't able to alternate skeins, and then when I got to this section, that's when you see a little bit of flashing, and then I bought the second skein to work the sleeves, and that's when you get this kind of striping, and then you get that bit there. I'm not sure what happened there. Initially I thought it could have been my gauge, but the same thing happened on this side as well. So I'm just guessing that it's just something to do with a mix of the decreases and also maybe within the yarn as well, because I wouldn't imagine the number of stitches I decreased. I was decreasing on every 15th round I was decreasing 2 stitches, and so when you get to this point, that's when I'd worked, I think that was about the 5th or 6th decrease. So by that point there's about 10 or so stitches decreased. So maybe they could just mainly be down to the decreases, but I just thought it was funny the way that just worked out like that on the sleeves. But it does add like an interesting feature, and he's very happy with this. He kept asking me as I was making it, when is it finished yet? Is it finished yet? So it's finished now. Hopefully he doesn't have too much of a growth spurt before he can wear this, but if he does, I still have some of the I have quite a lot actually of the blast and discs left, so I will just, if necessary, cut along here some, probably the last row where I worked Ichabod, I'll cut along there and then add more rows, because it's this was work bottom up, so knit a few more rows and then graft the two back together again. And I'll do the same with the sleeve. I'll do that possibly just before the sleeve started, so that it doesn't affect the patterning on the sleeve too much. And for this I used, I think it was 3.5mm, but I'll put corrections up there. That's not the case, but yeah, I think I used 3.5mm needles for this. But yeah, I'm very pleased with this, so it'll be nice when he's able to wear it. Right, my next finished object is a design project. I actually finished this on Monday. I was so pleased when this was done. It's a project that I've been working on for a while, and I had hoped to finish it earlier, but other projects meant this had to take a back burner for a while. But I'm just so pleased that this turned out the way it did, and even though most of it was kind of improvised as I was going along. But yeah, I haven't named it yet, but can't remember when it was. It was a few episodes ago. I mentioned that I had been sent some yarn. It was from Lola, who's the dyer behind Third Vault Yarns, the yarn used for the main colour here. She had released a collection of yarns which were part of the Endless, which is a comic book series that's from the Sandman, I believe, and it's about 7 siblings. And so she dyed up yarn to represent each siblings, and you can get the 100 gram skeins separately for each of the siblings, but she put together a pack of minis for all of them together, and she asked if I would be interested in having a set of the minis to make up something just to show people what could possibly be made by the yarn, because you know, with minis sometimes it's hard to know what to make, so it was just to give people an idea of what things could be made with it. No, I haven't shown you this yet. I'm just kind of, you know, building things up. Yeah, so I thought about what could be done. At the time I had been looking a lot into mosaic knitting, so I thought that would be a great way to go, especially as the solid colours would work really well in that sense. And then I thought I would try and do other stuff to add in with the other shades. So this is, I haven't written this pattern up, and it's going to be a monster to write up, because there's going to be it's going to be about 3 or 4 charts in this. 2 of them are going to be color work charts, and the other 1 or 2 will be a lace chart. So yeah, it's going to be a monster to write up. So as I said, I haven't named it yet. I have a couple of ideas in mind, but I don't want to settle on anything yet. And as I haven't written the pattern up yet, and there isn't really any particular deadline or anything for it, I'm not going to, it's not something I'm going to release yet, obviously. I would need to test it as well. So yeah, I'm not really kind of, you know, rushing at the moment to get a name. But here it is. Look at that. Just look at that. Come on. Tell me you're not loving those mosaics. Look at that. Look. I mean, I'm just amazed myself at this. You know, I know I made it, I designed it and everything, but I'm still amazed myself. And that lace, especially the end bit, has really come out really well. I like how that's come out. Yeah, so this is the section here that I'm not too happy about the blocking. It's curling a bit, even here, and this bit needs to be stretched out a bit more. So if I don't get that iron on tomorrow, which I'm not sure if I'll be able to have the time to go out and get one, it means I might have to wet block it, which I want to avoid just because of it's more of a hassle to do it that way, and otherwise I'll have to wait until the beginning of next week when I'll be able to go and get one. So let me take you through the different colorways. We have, now let me see if I can remember who's who. We have Despair and Desire. They are the twins. I'm not going to tell you the age order because I cannot remember. I always forget who's in which order. But I believe these two are the younger one, towards the younger end. I wasn't at first going to possibly work the pattern in age order, but I couldn't think of what to do to make the shades work together well. So we have Despair, Desire, that's the red, and Despair is the more sort of grey blue. And then there's Destiny, is this sort of dusty pink colour. Then we have Death. This is the same one that I used in the first socks I made this year for the Fairly Odd Socks collection, the Hello Goodbye socks. So that's Death. Then we have Dream, which is this one here. Destruction is this one here. And Delirium is this here. So as I said, you can get these, each of these individually in a 100 gram skeins, and out of these my favorites are Desire, Death and Destiny. I think when you see them as a full skein, they look completely different to the minis, but they look so good as well. So I might at some point get myself some of those. But yeah, that is the shawl. So no name yet, still working on that. I need to write up the pattern, but I am very pleased indeed. And these ends need to be woven in. Right. So the next, I don't have it with me. Hold on. So we had to pop out to get the next finished object. Now this one is not a knitting related finished object. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen some time ago now that I posted something about going down a polymer clay rabbit hole. I've been seeing people make polymer clay items on YouTube and wanted to try it myself. I wanted to try it myself, so I picked up some Fimo from the shops and got to work making some things. They're not amazingly great, but you know, these are just a few practice things that I made, and now that I've seen a few more videos, I know how I can improve on that. Some of these I'm going to glaze, and I have some glaze that should hopefully be arriving Monday, I think. And yeah, so I think some of these will look great, will look a lot better when they're glazed. So once I've had a bit more practice, then I do aim to work towards getting some polymer clay stitch markers in the store. So the first bit to show you is this. I know it's going to be difficult to see, and this is not going to no, that's not going to no, it's not going to focus in anyway, so I'll just show you, but then put a picture in at some point so you can see close up. So that's one that I made. This is another one. The sort of, I know you can't see it, but the purpley bits in the middle are these, but there's a few of them bunched up together, and then with a white bit in the middle, and then I put white all around as well. So just playing around. And then this is the same, but I put two just to make a longer stitch marker. And then I made this. I was trying to do a Skinner blend with this, but afterwards, when I look back at the video, I realized that I had been doing one of the methods wrong, but I know what to do now. So the next time I do a Skinner blend, it will actually work. And then the final bit I had was when I just had a small lump of clay left, instead of making more of these smaller stitch markers, I just decided to make larger balls, which could be progress keepers. So these I will glaze when my glaze arrives. So that's another one. It's a shame this thing can't focus. I think with the forward facing camera it's not able to focus as well. It's only with the, now this is my favorite one because it's a bit smaller and it's a lot more rounded. I think this will look amazing when it's glazed. So yeah, that's what I've been kind of getting into. So I've been watching a few videos, getting some ideas of things to make. So look out for that in the store coming at some point. Maybe I would say in the summertime will be when I'll be doing some of those. Right, so that's all of my done and dusted. Right, on the needles, at the moment I've only got 2 projects on the needles. One of them is the Swing Me Right Round sweater by Lola Johnson. I haven't done a whole lot on that since I showed it last, just because of finishing other stuff. So I won't bring that out to show you. But the next thing I have been working on, which I would say is more of a mofo than a, I would say, whip or on the needles. It's the 3rd sock in the Fairly Odd Socks Volume 2. I think it was the, no, it wasn't the last episode. It was, I think, episode like 15, sometime like that, when I got the Zalba ball and I was going to use that to make the 3rd sock. But as I started working with it, I wasn't liking the feel of the yarn. And I didn't think it would give me the stitch definition that I was looking for. So I picked up some yarn from D-Stash. I'm just going to go a little bit into goodies, which is this West Yorkshire Spinners, what is this? Air Valley Essential DK. So I decided to go with I wanted to make this knit up quickly so then I can get to the 4th sock, and so I've gone with a DK yarn so that it could knit up quite quickly. And I think a DK yarn works very well with the style of sock that I'm currently working on. So I've done, hold on a moment, just talk amongst yourselves. Alright, I've done the 1st sock here, so the features on the cuff itself. I've done the 1st sock, and I don't know if you can see, but it goes darker here, and this is all from the same ball. So I don't know what happened there, whether maybe the dye didn't penetrate in one of these, in one part of the yarn as much as others, because it just suddenly, we can see this line there, and it looks like it's another ball, but it's not, it's all from the same ball. And this is the second sock I'm working on. So I've just finished turning the heel. I'm using the Fleagle heel for this, and it's my first time working the Fleagle heel, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great heel. I think it will become my go-to heel for toe-up socks because it's so quick. Okay, why is that looking different? It's very quick to work up. This I'll take maybe 45 minutes or so. I was only roughly timing myself to work the heel fully, so it's very, very, very quick and straightforward to work. I use a tutorial by Yolanda, who is the host behind the Happy Knits podcast. So she has a great tutorial. Her one is for a 2 at a time sock pattern, toe-up sock pattern that features a Fleagle heel. So if you only want the heel section, just go to kind of like the middle of the tutorial just to see the heel section. But it's a great tutorial, and it's a great sock heel method, which, yeah, this will be pretty much my go-to heel for toe-up socks. I'm not sure if there's a way to do a cuff down. I haven't checked, but I'll check and see. But yeah, very good. So this bit, I should probably finish the main part of this sock. I could even finish it today, depending on how much work I put in it. And then, yeah, and then just working the cuff. Hopefully I can get that done in the middle of the week or by next week. Yeah, so that's all I have in terms of whips. I would have had another one, but I haven't I've been umming and ahhing about other projects to start, wanting to make sure I know what I'm doing and what yarn I'm going to need, if I'm going to need to buy anything else before getting started. But before I go into all of that, which will be in Waiting in the Wings, we will go to goodies. So the first goodie I have to show you, this arrived a while ago. When was this? This one I got, I think this was in May. Yeah, I got this in May, and it was a prize. It was a prize, not like a prize, it was a dip. I won a dip on Lola's Third Vault Yarns Facebook group. It was a dip for the yarn of the month, which was Welcome to Hawkins, which is a reference to Stranger Things. Something I have not watched, and my sister and niece keep telling me I should watch it, and I will at some point, but there are so many other programs that I want to watch and little time to watch them in. So this is Welcome to Hawkins. Now I really like this. If you've been watching a while, you know that I'm not a huge fan of variegated yarn, though I do like it when the colours do kind of contrast well together, and I think Lola is great at doing that, just putting together colours that work extremely well together, and that is showing up very nicely there. I just love how vibrant, oh, that looks very nice in the camera. I just love how vibrant the colours are, and how, you know, you've got that kind of red there and the purpley blue there and a kind of sea green there, and they're working really nicely together. So I'm in two minds about what to do with this, whether to keep it for myself, because it's a yarn of the month. I don't know if this is going to be a regular in the store, or if it was more of a one-off once in a while. Because of that, this might end up being socks. I don't have any socks. Well, I kind of have socks like this. It'll either be socks, or it will, I don't think I'll put it in the shawl, because I'll have to find a colour that will go well with this for a shawl. So it will either be socks, or it will be used in a sweater for one of the triple arters. So one of the two, depending on what happens when I get to that stage. But yeah, I love this. It is companion 4-ply, which is 100% superwash merino, 400 meters per 100 grams. Yeah, that's all there is to say about it. That's her tag there, and that's the yarn info there. I know it's difficult to see without this phone camera being able to focus, but yeah, I'm loving this. My next goodie, I would have loved to be able to show you guys this beforehand. Most of you will know that on the 9th of June we celebrated Worldwide Knit in Public Day, and as part of that, for that, myself and a friend, well, she mainly organised a meetup in King's Cross, and I contacted various yarn companies asking if they would be interested in sending us anything that we could use for a raffle or giveaway or something. And 2 companies responded. One of them was Rowan. I'll put a picture in, but they sent a box of yarn. And I mean a box. When this arrived at my door, I didn't know what to think. I kept thinking, who's ordered this? What's inside this box? I saw the name. Initially I thought it was Mr. Hughes, that he'd ordered something, but normally if he's ordered something sizable, he'll let me know, just so I'm aware that there's a package arriving. But I didn't know what was in this box, and I kept thinking, no, this can't be from Rowan. No. And then when I got in, came upstairs, opened it, and I saw what was inside. Oh my goodness. I just laid everything out, took a picture, sent it to Valerie, my friend who organised the meetup, and it was just so wow. What they sent was amazing. Such amazing yarn. They sent 2 types of yarn. One was Camello, the other one was Merino Alpaca DK. And yeah, there was a lot. It was more than we needed. So what I did was put everything in small kits, along with a stitch marker made by myself, and a pattern. So that way everybody would have some sort of prize to take with them, and it would be a kit with the yarn and everything together. So all they would need would be needles. Yeah, so made up 10 prize packages, and it was a brother and sister and their mum. And so oh sorry, just checking the time I had left. A brother and sister and their mum. And the brother, who isn't a knitter, we just gave him a couple of skeins of yarn, just so he could get started if he wanted to. So we all went away with the prize, including myself and Valerie, which I wasn't expecting. And my prize was this. So this is the bundle I put together that didn't have a pattern with it, because I just put 2 of each shade of Camello that we had received. So this was my price. So it's Camello, which is extra fine merino wool and baby camel, and it's 25 grams for each ball, and I think it's 175 meters, yeah, per ball. And this colorway is cream, this is Eden, that's red something. Oh goodness me, I can't remember now. It's red something, I know it is. I'll put it on the screen. This is red something. It's gone from my head now. And this one is stone, I believe. The grey is stone. So yeah, I was very happy to get this. It was a big surprise. My name was the first name picked out. Yeah, and this is the stitch marker I put with them. It's just an envelope there. So very pleased with this. I don't know what I'm going to make yet. Most likely it would be some kind of shawl. Yeah, most likely. So I might just make something up and then make it as a free pattern, or I will, what is that? I don't know what's going on there. It'll either be a free pattern that I make up, or you know, I will just work a pattern that's already available on Ravelry. So lots of nice goodies there. Yeah, so just speaking about the Worldwide Knit in Public, it was a great day. When we got there, it was just the two of us initially, myself and Valerie, and the boys and Little Miss. We initially thought nobody was coming because no one was arriving yet, but suddenly a few people came up, some regulars from previous KIPs that we've done, and a few new people as well. So it was nice to see everybody there. I'll put in some pictures at the end of showing, well, the few pictures that I have of it. Yeah, so it was a really nice day. Good to see everybody again. I didn't get to do a whole lot of knitting done. All I managed to do was one square on my miter square blanket, because I had to keep getting up for those boys and Little Miss. They really enjoyed themselves, though they did keep complaining that there wasn't anything to do. But I brought a ball, I brought a frisbee and some colouring books and pencils and things like that. So they did have stuff to do. They just wanted to do stuff that they couldn't do, and they wanted to explore more than they could. Further down from where we were sitting, there was a fountain. On 2 occasions, they managed to make their way up there. It's sort of a fountain where the water squirts out from the floor. And so they were running in and out of this, but I did not know. And they did not take their shoes off. So they were soaking wet. The first time round wasn't so bad because they managed to dry off. But then one of them went back to, we're kind of in What's Up With You section now. One of them went back, and I think it was Mr. Man went back, and I sent Mr. to go and get him. And Jimmy Jr. tagged along, and before I knew it, they were all back there playing around. So, but by this time, it wasn't as sunny, so their shoes and socks were wet on the way home, and I wasn't happy about that. But I didn't mind them running around in the fountain. Just if I had known, then they could have taken the shoes and socks off, and then, you know, it would be fine. But yes, they had an eventful day, and Little Miss enjoyed herself too. She got to run around. One of the attendees brought her neighbour's dog, which Little Miss got to take for a walk on the green, which she really enjoyed. And a few kind of, I don't know what to call them, these kind of pieces, like construction-y type things that the kids can kind of move around and build into different things. So they had fun doing a lot of that as well. So it was a really nice spot. It'll be great to be able to go there again next year. Yeah, so all day, all round, it was a really great day. Great to see some people from before and meet some new people. And yeah, hopefully those new people will be able to come next year as well. What else can I say about the day? Well, it was on the 9th and my birthday is on the 10th. So the next day was my birthday. Got a surprise from Mr. U and the boys. They kind of brought out a birthday cake as I was ironing something the next morning just before church. And then the week before that was our anniversary, so we all went out for a meal. What else can I say? I can see that my time is running out, so I'm trying to get in as much as I can because I don't know when I'm going to be able to record again. Yeah, so June is always one of those months in my family where there's lots of celebrations because there's lots of birthdays. This weekend it's my sister's birthday, then a few days after that it's my other sister's birthday, then a month after that also it's my niece and my brother's birthday, and then a month after that it's the triple artist's birthday, and a month after that it is my nephew's birthday, and in May was my sister's and Little Miss's birthday. So this kind of summer period is when you just get a whole block of birthdays and everything happening all at the same time. Yeah, that's all I've got for What's Up With You. I think if there's any more I'll add it as I'm talking. So waiting in the wings. The next project I'm going to cast on, I think maybe in the next few days, will be a infinity scarf for my niece. I've been promising her this for some time, and as I just mentioned, her birthday is in July, so I'm aiming to have that done by her birthday. I'm going to use, it's in the other room, I'm going to use a skein of Countess Ablaze in the, I think it's Persephone Sock is the base, and the colorway is I'm Not Okay. I got this as a D-stash, but when it arrived it was a lot more pinky purpley than I thought. I kind of thought there was more of a black tone in there as well, but it's more, I thought it was a black kind of purple tone, but it's more of a pinky purple tone. So my niece really likes that color, and I said that as she's still got the socks I made for her a couple of years ago, that I would use that to make something for her. So she asked for an infinity scarf. So I've seen the yarn that I can pair with it, so I'm just going to design something for to go with that. So I can start that now before I need to order the other yarn in. So that's one thing I'm going to start. Another one is another sweater for one of the tripolatas. This time it's going to be Mr. He's tripolata number 3. I haven't been able to find a pattern that I really liked to go for him. I just wanted just a basic sweater with some sort of texture on it. So what I'm going to do is use the numbers from Flax Light, omit the garter panel on, check the time, all right, we're good. I'm going to omit the garter panel on the sleeves, and then just work some sort of texture pattern myself. Yeah, I'm going to use, that yarn is in the other room as well. I'm going to use 3rd Volt Yarns Companion 4-ply in the Cosmic Turtle colorway. This is a yarn that was part of the quarterly themed yarn club. It was the Discworld one. I was going to use that to make a sort of bandana shawl design thing, but thinking about it more, it's not really a shape that I would really wear. So I'm decided, even though I really would love to use that for myself, I would need to use it for myself. I would need another 2 skeins, and since I've got one there, I might as well use it for Mr. So it saves me having to buy another yarn for him. I'm going to pair that with the leftover yarn I have from the Hello Goodbye socks, which was the Death colorway from the Endless collection. So I might have to buy another one of those. Well, I will have to buy another one of those, but I know that one is pretty much readily available, where I'm not sure if Cosmic Turtle is readily available on the site. So I'll start with the Cosmic Turtle that will form the top part of the sweater, and then Death will come in towards the bottom. Just once I've run out of the Cosmic Turtle, I'll then start working in Death. My plan is to use half of the skein for the body, and then the other half will be split between the sleeves, and then the rest will just be in the Death colorway. Yeah, so I don't know what kind of stitch pattern I'm going to use, and whether that will cover the whole sweater or just maybe the bottom half. Most likely it'll be more or less towards the bottom, but I need to just think of what stitch patterns will work. So I think those 2 colorways would work best for him. And then for Jimmy Jr., I will see what I have available. I was going to use my Rosie's Moment, the Dark Side colorway, but that's starting to peel, and I haven't even used that skein yet. I've had it for some time. I think it was 2015 or 16 I picked that up, and I can see it starting to peel and looking a bit rough. So I don't think that would be the best thing to use for a sweater for a 7-year-old boy. I'll keep that for myself for something else. Yeah, so Now moving on to the word for the month. I initially wasn't going to do this, but okay, I need to be quick now. I wasn't going to do this initially, but I thought I was reading something this morning, so I thought I'll just quickly share it. What am I using my tablet? I'll just share it quickly, and then I won't go too deep into it this time. Initially, I wasn't going to do this because it's the middle of the month, but who says the word for the month has to be at the beginning of the month? It can be in the middle, it's fine. So I'm reading from Psalm chapter 18, verse 2, which reads, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold." For me, this just talks about God being a shelter, a strength, just someone who you can lean on and turn to in times of trouble or difficulty. It just reminds me that no matter what is going on, He is always there, and I can look to Him and know that everything will be all right. Not in a sense of just blindly forgetting that things are going on, but just in the sense that I don't need to be consumed with so much worry. I just need to have that faith and know that things will work out. And you know, it just gives you, for me, it just gives me that strength to know that He's working something. And again, it doesn't mean I just sit around and do nothing. I still do something towards it, but I know that all I can do is what I can do, and I should trust to leave the rest to Him. So yeah, for me, it's just one of those verses that just reminds me not to be too anxious about things, not to worry too much about things I don't have control over, and just to know that sometimes things may not always work out the way you expect them to, but whatever happens, He's always there to provide strength and comfort and support and, as it says, refuge. Yeah, I think I will leave that there. There is nothing else I can think I need to add, and I do need to start getting ready and to go and get the triple otters from their clubs. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Do come back again. Don't forget to check out the blog. The show notes will be on the Ravelry Group. Oh yes, there's a Ravelry Group. Mrs. U Makes is the Ravelry Group, so show notes will be put on there. I should also have a recipe video that I'm going to upload. I recorded it a long time ago and haven't uploaded it yet, but that should hopefully be done around the same time that this is up too. Yeah, so have a good day.